Ba-dum, 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 bum, bum. Is it live? Is it live or is it Memorex? Remember that one? Is it live?
You know, you need to get the NWO music for the beginning. Dun, 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 dun. My favorite song.
That'd be happening. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Q&A, presented by Sports Geek WrestleBinge, shown exclusively right here on WrestleBinge YouTube channel. My name is Joe What a Day Lowry. I'm your host. Is it hot enough for you today? But hopefully we can cool things off with a great show tonight. As always, we're joined by two wrestling insiders who are here to answer your questions. First up, he is a Hall of Fame wrestling journalist. He's also the senior editor of Sports Geek Wrestling. Let's welcome to the show the incomparable Mr. Bill Apter. Welcome, Bill.
Well, thank you. Now, if I'm a fan of AAA, I would be the senior editor.
The senior editor.
Yeah.
The senior.
Yeah. Thank you, Joe. Great to be here.
There you go. And that's also on deck with us is the man who does get the news before it breaks. He never shows his face. Let's welcome to the show, Joey from WrestleVotes Radio. Welcome, Joe.
Hello, gentlemen. Bill, Joe, pleasure to be back here on the Tuesday night with you guys. Looking forward to it. And hopefully have a good show here.
Hey, everyone trying to stay cool here. Man, was it a hot one today? Woo.
You ain't kidding, Joe.
Unbelievable. Before we get started, let's hit that like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you haven't done so already, it'd be greatly appreciated. You can join over the 92,000 other subscribers. And I don't know, folks, big topic today, big topic last night with Raw and so forth was the fact that the show must go on for Saudi Arabia and the WWE this coming weekend. Real quickly, I want to get a quick take from you both. Bill, I'll ask you first.
Okay. If the WWE are my children, I don't want them going.
Okay.
No matter what is going on in terms of the truce or whatever,
right?
Going to that part of the world at this particular time it's foolish to me. You have to, these talents have families so that the production people and everyone to do with the company that are going there. And I know it would have cost a zillion, trillion, killion dollars to have moved it to a safer country somewhere. But again, if this was my company or my family, these people are like a family to me. And I'll watch the show, but God forbid, I just hope nothing happens.
Joe, what's your take with this? Is this a good move for the WWE? The court of public opinion is weighed in heavily on this. Is this a good thing for going over there?
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a business thing, and it depends on what side of the business fence you're on. I get why they're going to go, and I get why a lot of us don't want them to go. We put out yesterday on Twitter that we spoke to somebody who's on this flight coming up, who said that they really hope the company reconsiders. The company's not going to reconsider. They're leaving tomorrow. So it is what it is at this point. Let's just hope it goes off safe.
Production people are there already.
Yeah, I mean, they got the stage and ring going. So this show's going to happen on Saturday from Saudi Arabia, and that's just that.
Somebody said, and I don't know if this is a rumor or truth, that Dana White called Trump.
Okay.
He and Trump are very good friends, and he said, you got to find some way to make this work.
Okay. So who knows? Yeah, you never know. You never know who's making the call backstage. I mean, there was that weird interaction, I think.
Yeah, but it's that whole thing where, they used to say wrestling imitates life.
Right.
And if that's one of the things that happened here, my goodness, what kind of world are we in?
Right. We're also we are used to this. I mean, don't forget, I'll go back to 9/11. The WWE put on SmackDown 2 days later on 9/13 from Houston, and that was the first major sporting event to take place. There was no football happening at the time, no baseball, whatever. So they're used to this type of publicity, but this is a foreign country. This is not like they're going to be traveling down to Florida or Texas or whatever. These guys are going right to the heart and soul of what's been going on lately.
It's scary to me.
It's scary.
It's
scary.
It is
very scary. It is very scary, but nonetheless, we do have a lot of questions coming in. So we're going to pop over to the question board here. There we go. Matthew Hammer, great guys coming up here. He wants to know what's up with Triple H's booking lately. Is it him or is it TKO? Bill, what do you think? Who's calling the shots now, creative wise?
Well, they have a whole creative team. Triple H is the guy who signs off on everything.
Right.
Similar to what Vince McMahon did when he was in the Triple H spot. Sure. So it's a combination deal. We talk about people being dissatisfied with the booking, but we're looking this again from an insider's point of view. Do we know that the person watching this on TV that loves watching Monday Night Raw and SmackDown every week are thinking the same way we do? Possibly, possibly no. I know I've had some issues recently, confusing things that they've done that I question, but I don't know. I can't say he's doing bad booking if they have a reason for doing this and the basic fan is enjoying it, not the insiders like us.
Sure. Joe, what are your thoughts on this? Is Triple H still at the helm with all this creativity, or what's going on?
Yeah, I completely agree with Bill. From everything I know, Joe, it's Triple H's call creatively. I don't think TKO gets involved too much. I will say that when there's a TKO board member involved in a storyline, The Rock, that trumps things. However, on the day-to-day, week-to-week TV, this is a Triple H call, and his creative team is behind it. So I think TKO is letting Hunter and company do what they want as far as storylines go.
Exactly. And how interesting, though, Nick Khan is on Stephanie McMahon's podcast this week, and they dropped some teasers with it last week. And one of them was that Nick Khan tells the creative team to write for the WWE universe and not the internet.
Yep.
I thought that was pretty interesting. So, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And that by the way, I've always believed that, and Triple H believes that, but people think Triple H is sitting in a little office and writing scripts. It's not him. He's the orchestra leader. There are people under him that are creating the product, and he can always say no.
That is true.
Yep.
And Matthew's chiming in with another question. He wants to know, are there any updated matches planned for Evolution? Joe, anything on the horizon that you know of?
The only thing that I can really speak about, and we saw it last night, the three-way forming between Becky Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, that seems to be in play for Evolution. But, the Liv injury is still affecting things. They've had a full week to figure it out. Don't know where certain matches stand because of that. But one that does seem clear is this three-way for the Intercontinental Championship.
All right. So we got a couple of weeks left until we find out what happens there. Bill, have you heard any other matches planned?
I haven't, but that whole situation with Bayley and Lyra Valkyria seemed very natural to me. Bayley was almost like she didn't know. I would say her acting was so good. What are you doing? This is my match. Why are you here? And it really had a very real spin to me, the way she was sitting there in the corner and saying, "What did you do this for?" I liked that segment very much.
Yep, I agree wholeheartily. I do believe another question came in from him. It trickled in about a couple hours ago. Where is Otis? What happened to Otis? That's what they're looking. That's what they're asking. Anybody know? Bill, have you seen Otis around? Where's he been?
I haven't seen Otis around in any of the vignettes or interviews, but they've got so many people around. Maybe they just, have nothing for him right now.
Right. Joe, any word on Otis? Is he coming back? What's the deal?
Yeah, Joe, I believe he's out of action. Don't know if it's an injury or personal reasons. However, we speak about this roster that shows up, and we made a joke about last week how, forgive me, I think we were talking about Ilya not being on the roster. Otis is currently not on the roster, which means they're not available. For whatever reason, personal injury, I don't know. I don't want to speculate. However, they're just not available for weekly TV at the moment.
They missed the boat way back when Otis should have become champion. I think even if it was for a couple of months, he was so over with the fans. They had adored him when he did the whole Scotty Too Hottie worm thing and all that. He was an attraction, and the guy knows how to work too.
I loved him with Mandy Rose. That was a great storyline.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
That was lightning in a bottle back then. So
yep.
Good stuff. A good friend, Nassam Bahar, is chiming in. He wants to know, is any talent that we know of refusing to go to Saudi Arabia? I'll ask Joe first. Have you heard anybody right now flat out saying, no, I'm not going to Saudi Arabia?
I have not. I haven't heard that in a couple of years. I know when this first started, there were guys who didn't want to go, and they didn't go. Sami Zayn, and I believe Daniel Bryan, Brian Danielson, whatever. Some guys refused, but that's been years since I've heard of something like that going down.
Okay. Bill, anything on your end? Does anybody
Some guy named Paul Levesque, but I don't know where he is on the no, I haven't heard any. As far as I know, it's a company situation, and I think at the last minute, again, if the wives and the kids put the fear in the wrestler, I think that the talent has the right to say, I can't do this.
Right. Okay, good stuff. And this is a good question from Nassam, because I'm interested in this one. Is Dominik Mysterio's injury legitimate, or is it storyline related? Bill, what's up with that? All of a sudden,
I think it's storyline related. I don't know, but I just seemed to happen at the same time with the Liv Morgan thing. And what I would like to see, if they keep him out for a while, is the old rule that if you don't defend your title within 30 days, the title is stripped from you. That would be a great angle if he's away for 30 days and they strip him of the belt. Can you imagine the craziness going on in the Judgment Day if that happened?
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be interesting. Joe, what do you think? Is this injury storyline or legit?
I asked Joe, and I got nothing back, which tells me it's probably a storyline. I don't want to speculate, but it's probably a storyline.
I got to tell you, I was very scared last night because when Dominik, they said he was injured, and then Raquel on that table with Rhea in the ring, I'm like, they could just wipe out all of Judgment Day. They're going to make
all of it. Yeah.
I'm like, that's
by the way, you bring up Rhea Ripley and Raquel and the table thing.
Sure.
CM Punk laid down for 20 minutes after being put through the table.
Yep.
5 minutes after Rhea Ripley's put through a table, she's in Adam Pearce's office demanding a match. I'm going to steal something from Hurricane Helms and say, what's up with that?
What's up with that? Yeah, that's crazy.
No, really?
It's those new Slim Jim tables. I'm telling you, something's up.
No, what do you guys think about that? I mean, if you really think about that whole thing with CM Punk laying there, I kept thinking, my goodness, it's like he could have gotten up like 10 times during that whole thing. But the Rhea Ripley thing is through the table and then 4 or 5 minutes. WrestleVotes, Joe, what do you think?
Bill, it's funny you say that because I heard on Saturday that if you go back and rewatch the segment, you'll see after about 5 minutes of him laying there, a referee slide into the ring to check on him. And I had heard that they did that to make it seem less cringy, that he was just
it was a woman referee.
Yeah. So that wasn't supposed to be the case, but I guess somebody in the back said, like, he can't just lay there for 10 minutes, send somebody out. And that's what they did to hope it looked a little better. But I think people picked up on it, Bill. You're right.
5 minutes on television is eternity. That is an absolute eternity.
Yeah.
And but Punk was down there for about, I think, 10 to 12 minutes, maybe.
Yeah. I agree. So we'll see.
By the way, one other bugaboo I want to get off my chest here. I saw a video of John Cena. He says he's going to ruin wrestling, right? I saw a video of him at the Fanatics Fest. Yeah. And he's got the punching bag thing, and he's going, and he keeps hitting it, but not hitting it. And somebody said, why aren't you hitting it? He says, well, this is what I've been doing in the wrestling business for 25 years, making like I'm hitting people. And I was like, geez, you talk about I know you're giggling at this, but geez, why don't you just tell people that what you did was just fake in that case? That really bothered me. Two things that bothered me.
Joe, did that bother you, Joe? Did that bother you?
It bothered me to the extent of, like, in no other words that I could say it is he didn't need to say that. He could have just left that part out.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it bothered me a little bit.
Well, I saw a bunch of other videos too of him shooting around. He couldn't shoot a basketball. He was missing on purpose. It was like he was out to ruin the whole thing for everybody.
But just the whole thing saying that he's been faking it for 25 years, pretty much. And listen, one more, the last bugaboo. Why the hell? Why the hell? This is a Joe Lowry rant. Why the hell, which you can get for free in your mailbox by subscribing to my Thursday newsletters, why the hell, after romancing AAA for such a long time, and I've got an exclusive interview I'm doing Thursday night with Mr. Iguana that will be aired probably next week, but why the hell did they have, it was a spectacular move by Braun Breaker that caught Penta in the air, but it was a clean pin. And then they have Seth Rollins in Penta's face saying, well, you know, you can't beat me. So why did already he's been pinned like cleanly a couple of times, and the broadcasters are saying what a magnificent wrestler he is, and they're beating him up.
Yeah. Well, the same can be said about Roxanne Perez. She hasn't won a match since she got to Raw. So,
but she's not getting the push that Penta gets. Joe, WrestleVotes Joe, what do you think about this whole Penta thing?
I don't know what to say about that. I wouldn't have him losing as much. Not that he has to go undefeated. He doesn't have to be the next Goldberg here. But I agree, Bill. Sprinkle the losses in would do a lot more than just having him lose like he's been doing. So hopefully they change that.
I mean, are they doing what they did with WCW, that their guys can't beat our guys?
I don't know.
I hope not.
I hope not either. Yeah, that's feet crooked. But anyway, we got to move on. We got a lot of questions tonight, guys. Bill's with a rant. Right. Bill's doing the Joe.
Yeah.
All right, Joe Murphy for WrestleVotes. Any update on Drew McIntyre, and how would you book his return?
Nothing on the pipeline recently, which tells me it's not imminent. But when he's ready, if I was booking, I'd put him right at the top. I think the guy deserves it. And you could tell when he's not on TV, like as of late, the show's lacking a little bit. So when he's ready, you put him right back in that main event scene.
Okay, excellent. Bob Ross Jr. wants to know, when does NXT talent usually find out after they're called up? And being a champion in NXT, does that mean they're a transitional champion? We got a 2-for-1 in there. Bill, what do you think? You win the title?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't want to even speculate, because it's different with every talent that from NXT. When they get called up, there's a mindset in either SmackDown or Raw of how they want to be used. So you can't really say. It's per talent.
Sure. Joe, what do you think? Same thing?
No, it's certainly per talent, like Bill's saying. Everybody's different. Right. Those reactions that they filmed and released on documentaries and things like that are natural. So some talent don't find out until the moment. And other talents know a few weeks in advance. So it is per talent.
Okay. Excellent. We got a new question in here. This one is from KPC Prez.
Whoa.
He wants to know, what did you guys think of AEW Grand Slam Mexico last week, and where should they go next? I'll ask Joe that question first. What do you think?
Yeah, great question. I loved the presentation from Mexico last week. I thought the crowd was on fire. I thought it made Dynamite feel special. I thought that Mystico entrance was nothing short of incredible.
Right.
But I can give you a little breaking news here on where they should go next.
Breaking news. Hold on. Breaking news. There we go. Breaking news.
Oh, here we go. I've learned through sources that they're going to return to the Manhattan Center, the Hammerstein Ballroom, once again this December, like they did last year, to rave reviews. So New York City around the holidays, AEW will be back in the Hammerstein Ballroom for a few episodes of their TV.
Unbelievable. Breaking news. You heard it here first.
I will be there.
Back at the Hammerstein.
I'll be there with you, Bill.
Good stuff. All right. Thanks for the question, KPC. Thank you.
Hey, Joe, I want to chime in as you use the words chime in. I love that. I want to chime in and say that, my God, that show was terrific. This is the AEW's answer to what Worlds Collide was, so to say. Sure. The fans hopefully will not get overly tired of seeing too much lucha libre. Everybody jumping over the ropes, everybody doing acrobatics. But
Right.
for right now, this is something that is so exciting, and AEW mixing it up with CMLL it's great. I love it. And again, the fans really brought the energy, and when they bring the energy, it makes the talent so much better to work in front of people that really care.
Great. Let me see. Moving on here. Todd J, aka the Jake Man, is asking about the Ethan Page, Ricky Starks, or Saints potentially joining Seth Rollins' faction with Paul Heyman. If you had to pick one, who would you pick to join? So I'll ask Bill, who would you pick? Ethan Page?
Oh, Ricky Saints. I just feel that he's such an exceptional talent, but he hasn't caught fire yet. So if they want to look at him to go in there, possibility, I think that's where he will catch on fire.
Okay. Joe, what do you think?
I agree there. And this is no disrespect at all to Ricky Saints, but I think he could use the pairing better. I think he could get more out of it. I think Ethan Page at this point is a little more, again, no disrespect, but I want to say polished, where him and Paul Heyman may not click as much as Paul Heyman guiding Ricky Saints could go a long way for that guy's career. So I'd pick Ricky Saints.
All right. Good stuff. Matthew's asking, who is EO going to face at Evolution? Will it be Stephanie Vaquer? Is that a good matchup, you think, Bill? Stephanie versus...
Say it again. I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Is EO facing at Evolution? Will it be Stephanie Vaquer?
I think it would be a great match.
Yeah. Joe, you agree with that?
Yeah.
If I'm looking,
very exciting.
Yeah, sure.
Two ladies who have really good ring styles that will mix perfectly with each other.
All right. I do see a lot of Middle East questions coming in here. They're all asking what's going on with the Middle East. Should they go or not? We kind of addressed that at the beginning. The court of public opinion is different. I understand that, but right now they are slated to be scheduled to go over there. I think they're all flying out tomorrow. Correct, Joe?
Tomorrow, as far as I know.
But again, the production people are there already.
All right. So that show must go on, and it will go on. So it's going to be early here in the States. So
1 p.m.
Yeah, that'd be good for us. I like this guy. I'm a Twitter Ricky for Bill Apter. He's got two questions, one for WrestleVotes and one for Bill Apter. I'll do Joe's question first. It seems to me that they dropped the Jamie Hayter-Thekla feud. I think she's going to be heading to the WWE once her deal is up, if they don't add injury time. How do you feel about that, Mr. WrestleVotes?
I can't say if she's coming to WWE. She's not cleared right now. So for the people saying that they're not using her the right way, this and that, she's not cleared. So let's see what happens when she gets healthy.
Nice. All right. And Mr. Bill Apter, your question is, Dave Meltzer said on his radio show that the WWE has interest in talent that appeared on CML Grand Slam in AEW. He listed the names as Mascata Dorada, Mystico. I could see them going. Even Zeus was there, Mercedes and all that. What are your thoughts? Do you think anybody from that show will go over to WWE in the future?
Well, right now WWE has made a marriage with AAA, so it all depends if any of those great talents from CMLL move over to AAA, we would see them in WWE.
Okay, yeah, I would agree with that. Of course, we have our weekly. Any update on Ilya's return? Ilya Dragunov. Joe, any news on that?
No news this week. Quiet all throughout.
Wow. Bill, what are your sources saying?
Oh,
anything?
did you notice? No, I don't have an update on that. But did you notice when Penta and Chad Gable were backstage fighting, that the camera spotted a little shot of Ludwig Kaiser watching that? Did you guys see that?
Yes, we did. Yep, he returned, hit the social media airwaves in 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it's funny because just as Gunther is getting settled to finally go against Goldberg on Saturday night's main event, Ludwig Kaiser, who is Gunther's right-hand man and protege, just happens to be in the same building last night.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting stuff. A good friend Waffle Reigns has a question. He wants to know, when are we going to see Roman Reigns again? Bill, what do you think? Roman Reigns due back SummerSlam before then?
I think we're going to see him make an appearance at SummerSlam. It might be unannounced, but I think there's going to be something to do with him and in a positive way with Jacob Fatu, with him helping out Jacob Fatu. I still say I'm going to call them the SSP, the Samoan Superpowers, and that's what I think is going to happen. He's going to ally himself with Jacob Fatu.
Nice. Joe, what do you got? You got any spies in the sky on this one? When is Roman Reigns coming back?
I will tell our buddy Waffle Reigns that we're working on it. That's the best I can say. Give us a couple days and we'll see what happens.
I wonder, by the way, if Waffle Reigns watches Dr. Chris Featherstone's Pancakes at Pile Driver show. Anyway, back to the show.
Is that over on the Food Network? I didn't hear that one.
Right.
All right. We got a couple. Michael is chiming in and wants to know what happened to Trish Stratus. Was she supposed to appear on Raw last night? I didn't even know about that. Anybody hear that?
Neither did I.
Trish Stratus supposed to appear in Raw last night?
No, she was. Again, I don't want to get too deep here without. Anyway, she was supposed to be on SmackDown Friday night.
Okay, Friday.
We're working on what happened and when she will come. I don't want to put anything out there yet. It's not solidified. So she was and then she wasn't. So again, we're working on it, Michael.
All right. It's could be Evolution. Who knows? All right. So Michael's got another follow-up question. Of course he does. Could Naomi be the first to unsuccessfully cash in her Money in the Bank contract next week due to Jade costing her? But if she does cash in successfully, do we get a Jade versus Naomi for the title at Evolution? Bill, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you something. I thought Asuka was going to win the Queen of the Ring I'm talking about. Right. But in terms of Jade Cargill going after Naomi, natural feud, and Jade Cargill's got to win.
Okay. Joe, you agree with that?
Yeah, I think everybody wants to see the match. Certainly, again, after what they did at WrestleMania. So if it had the title attached, I think it's of more importance. So I think I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, the odds are pretty high. I mean, the women have successfully cashed in their Money in the Bank 100% of the time since they've been.
Keep in mind that they just said that Jade has signed with that Paragon. I can't pronounce the name.
Paradigm.
Yes, and she may have something coming up that could cause her to lose a match to spend some time doing whatever they need her to do. So that's a possibility too.
All right. Good stuff. Another question here from Michael. Is Darby Allin coming back at All In? Joe, what do you think? Darby Allin going to return?
Yeah, I'd imagine if he's back down from the top of the mountain and healthy enough, then I think July 12th is his target, and we'll see him at All In.
That's going to be crazy when he does return. It's been, how long's he been out? He's been gone for like a few months now, right?
I believe since at least March, yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
What do you guys think of Bryan Danielson working again at this point? Because remember, he said after his injury, now that he's got a family, he doesn't want to injure, he could be crippled for the rest of his life with a wrong move. And I'm sure that the way that he's gone into the ring, he must have been working on this for months and months and months. But I don't know. WrestleVotes, Joe, what do you think?
Don't know if he's going to wrestle again, Bill. I think he's got that fear of getting hurt for his family, which is understandable. But I think everybody would love to see him wrestle at least one more time. I guess the ball's in his court. I think Tony Khan would allow it if he's cleared, but ultimately the decision's going to be him, and we'll see what he says.
Now, he's still a billboard name.
Did Absolutely. You guys agree with the placement of Bryan Danielson's return the other night? I do believe it was after the show went off the air that he showed up, correct?
Yeah, I think it was tied into Ring of Honor or something. But,
right.
If he doesn't have plans to come back as a full-time wrestler, then you probably don't do that on TV, which they didn't. So maybe that's an indication he's not coming back.
Yeah. That's crazy. Real quickly, we blazed through these questions. There's a few more trickling in. Real quickly, back to John Cena's pipe bomb from Friday night. Do you think there was a lot of truth and honesty in that pipe bomb? I'll start with you, Bill.
Oh yeah, definitely. John Cena's doing whatever he wants right now, pretty much. I told you, to me it was foolish that CM Punk lay there for such a long time. I don't think they should have done that, but I think it. Did you notice that the fans were cheering Cena every time during that whole thing? They loved it. They absolutely loved it. So
he mentioned Claudio Castagnoli and Matt Cardona, Nick Nemeth.
Gonna say whatever, but it's making us talk, isn't it? So it got over.
Joe, were you shocked that he didn't say AEW at all?
Well, here's what I want to ask both you guys, and I don't know if I believe it or not, but I did see something floating around on the internet right after, and it made some sense to me, but it is a deep conspiracy theory, but one that I wouldn't put past him. He said Claudio Castagnoli for CC, that CC meaning Colt Cabana. He then said Matt and Nick, as in Nemeth and Cardona, where he was really referencing Matt and Nick Jackson of the Young Bucks. So I don't know if I put stock in that, but it's more than a coincidence, I think.
Yeah, that was unbelievable stuff.
Yeah, very interesting on that.
All right, Matthew's asking, he wants to know, will the WWE expand into Japan using Noah? What do you think, Bill?
I don't know the answer to that. If they want to expand into Japan, they don't need Noah. They don't need any other company. They'll find a way to get into Japan. They've done it before.
I feel like we get this question every week. Joe, do you know anything about this? Do you think they could
I think
use Noah as a catalyst for that?
I think WWE and TKO will use their partnerships wherever they are. If they have a strong partnership in Japan with Noah, eventually they'll utilize it. So sure.
Okay. Let me see here. What do we got here? A lot of people are asking about the Saudi Arabia thing. We've already addressed that.
Yeah, we did.
I know that's a lot of heavy headway media wise for them right now. So as far as we know, we are 7:34 p.m.
By the way, we were talking about the Cena pipe bomb.
Yeah.
What about the fans cheering Gunther on Raw and booing every mention of Goldberg? Did you hear that?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Why? What is it?
Fans are fickle, man. They're fickle. It's
no. I mean, why are they booing Goldberg? The first week that when he came back, it was Goldberg, and now this crowd last night in Ohio is so behind Gunther.
Mm-hmm.
It surprised me.
I don't know, Joe. You probably have a better answer than I do.
No, I mean, it surprised me as well. There's a contingent of the crowd that doesn't want to see Goldberg, and we all understand that.
Right.
But 9 times out of 10, or 9 people out of 10, don't mind seeing him and are excited for Saturday night's main event. So I'm not sure the disconnect there that happened last night.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Do we see Goldberg beating Gunther that night, Saturday night's main event?
I see Goldberg winning, and I see the next night Seth Rollins cashing in on Raw.
Ooh, okay. Joe, you feel like that will happen?
Do I feel like it'll happen? No. Would I be cool with it? Sure. I think that'd be a fun moment. I just don't see Goldberg beating Gunther. At this moment, I don't see it.
Yeah,
I think it's tough. As Goldberg's been talking, he might not have agreed to this comeback.
Sure. Unless
he had some sort of a guarantee that something major would take place. That's just my feeling.
Okay. I'm not Joey Styles. That's a good little catchphrase there.
Right.
Username wants to know what's going on with Jimmy Uso. What is the deal with Jimmy Uso lately? Joe, what's going on with him?
Well, looks to be aligned with Jacob Fatu after Friday night's edition of SmackDown, going up with Solo and JC Matteo. I'd imagine they show up in Saudi Arabia in some form, and that story picks up a little bit. But Jimmy will be back on TV more regularly now that he's got a program to work.
Sure. Bill, what do you think?
By the way, I'm surprised that marketing hasn't come up with if you think the Iran-Israel confrontation is hot, wait till you see King of the Ring. I don't know what they have in mind for Jimmy Uso. Just very confused about his whole being, which way he's going at this point.
Yeah. I have one little question I'd like to throw out to you guys. How do we feel about JC Matteo and how he's being presented with with this whole thing with Solo and all that? Are you for it? Are you against it? Bill, I'll start with you. JC Matteo.
I'd like to see him as part of the Paul Heyman. I'd like to see him as the next Paul Heyman guy.
Okay.
I think he would fit in physically perfectly with Paul Heyman and his guys. I really do. That's what I'd like to see. As for him as, as the non-Samoan, he's okay, but he's getting beaten up a lot now too. After the second or third time I saw him in the ring, people are, he's getting killed a bit. So it takes that heat off of him.
Yeah. Joe, what are your thoughts on JC Matteo and how he's being presented on SmackDown?
I think it's this weird kind of combination of him being presented as a new character with a new name, although people know who he really is, and that's who they really want, and it's not happening. So it's going to take some time for people to get behind JC Matteo when a majority of the people just want Jeff Cobb, if that makes any sense.
No, I hear you. I do agree with that, and I do believe that is our last question of the night. Can you get through all?
I got one for Bill.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Bill.
Go ahead. Shoot.
With King of the Ring coming up, were you there the night in Dayton, Ohio, 1993, when the camera exploded in Hulk Hogan's face?
I was not. Remember, the magazines were banned from covering shows back there. So no, I was not there.
Bill,
good question.
Were you with WOW in 93? No, were you still with the magazines in 93?
I was with the magazines, but I can't tell you which one I was with at that point.
Okay, because
not that I don't want to, I do, but you'd have to look it up.
I remember that the camera exploding. Jeez, that was my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wouldn't have been my Nikon.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask. If it was your faulty camera,
wouldn't have been that Nikon. The only time that I got in trouble was at a boxing show in Atlantic City, where it was televised on like Wide World of Sports, and a boxer during a main event tripped over my camera.
Ooh.
And I didn't know this till I got home. My father said, "What the hell did you do?" And the camera had focused in directly on me, and I was making my Jerry Lewis face, going like, saying, "It's people like this that can cause a boxer an injury," and I didn't know it. Somebody saying you're on TV, so I went. I had no clue.
That's awesome. Hey, here's a little tidbit for you guys. Now, obviously, Dominik Mysterio is injured. Liv Morgan's out with an injury as well. But do you know their merchandise is officially the #1 selling items on WWEshop.com?
That's great. You know what? I'm going to tell you something about the merchandise. And if anyone from WWE is watching this, we went to Rehoboth Beach and Bethany Beach in Delaware for 4 days. The boardwalk was packed. Not one pro wrestling shirt from any company.
Wow.
No one. I remember 20 years ago, everybody had a WWE something shirt. Nothing at all.
It's an eclectic audience, that's for sure.
But it used to be, they got to kick up the merchandise and start putting them in stores again or whatever, because that really surprised me.
Yeah, it is shocking. What's even more shocking is that Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are still tag team champions.
That's right.
I know. By the way, Joe Lowry, your rant every week is so excellent in my newsletter, but I've decided on this show, on WrestleVotes Q&A, when I have something I want to really get off my chest like I did today, I've been kind of nice. I've been the nice Bill Apter, but there are some things that really tick me off.
You off.
I'm going to do it here every week.
There you go.
Let's do it.
All right. Rant it up. That'd be awesome. Hey, Joe, real quickly, recap that breaking news. I'll put a little breaking news.
Recap?
Recap. recap.
Oh, I thought you said recap.
No. Breaking news, AEW, hit away.
Yeah, we got a question about where should AEW go next, and I've learned that they are returning to the Hammerstein Ballroom, Manhattan Center, late December, around the holidays here in New York City, much like they did last year for a couple of editions of their TV. So New York City, get ready. It was incredible last year.
What a great place. The fever at that building is incredible.
Yep. AEW.
You remember Herb Abrams used to run his shows there.
Who doesn't love New York City during the holidays? I mean, come on.
Good stuff. You remember Herb Abrams used to run his UWF shows there?
UWF,
Oh, yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff there.
I'll tell you a Herb Abrams story next week.
Looked like my producer's yelling at me, wrap it up. He's saying, all right, I got to wrap it up. He's telling me to wrap it up. All right, folks, that's going to do it for this week's show. I do want to thank everyone who sent in questions. And for everybody who continues to watch us, your support is greatly appreciated. We do this every week. So submit your questions via Sportskeeda's social media pages. They grab them right from there. If you want to comment on this particular video, do so at the bottom of the video here, and they'll grab the questions for that. But as always, I want to thank everybody for joining us. As always, I kick it over to my
Joe, I'm hopping over to Wrestle Room on Facebook right after our show here airs with Dr. Chris Featherstone, and we're going to talk about pinning Penta.
Oh, pinning Penta. There you go. Hey, real quickly, before I forget, Joe, any teasers for Thursday's show, WrestleVotes Radio?
Yeah, hopefully some news on Roman Reigns, and much like we did for Money in the Bank, we're going to give you guys who Creative has forecasted as winners this weekend. So if you're into that type of thing, look for that this coming Thursday here on Sportskeeda.
All right, good stuff. All right, guys, you guys have a great week. Stay cool, because hopefully the heat will be broke by the weekend. So, but that's going to do it for me. I'm Joe What-A-Day Lowry. Bill, Joe, take us home.
Hey, Joe, we'll see you
at the matches.
There you go.
We got it.
Stay cool, everybody.